Recorded Books presents Don't Look Back by Joe Calderone, narrated by Adam Grupper. This is a work of fiction woven into a historical setting. With the exception of Rudolph Giuliani, all of the characters, as well as any companies or other entities named, and their words and deeds are products of the author's imagination. Though some job descriptions or titles within city government or within fictitious companies are referenced, the characters who occupy those roles in this book are just that, created characters. They never existed and are not intended to reflect any actual persons who may have held those or similar positions before, during, or after September 11, 2001, or to convey actual facts about any such persons. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events involving such persons is purely coincidental. As for Mr. Giuliani, any conduct attributed to him in this book is also fictional, and is expressly not intended to convey any actual facts about him. Chapter 1. September 11th, 2001, 9:05 a.m. As they headed west over the Brooklyn Bridge, Peter Murphy double-checked his gear, making sure he had all his equipment. It might have seemed silly, but the precaution was something they taught in the FDNY Fire Academy, where only weeks ago he had been training. Guys had been known to leave the firehouse without a helmet or a radio or a fully charged can, as the silver handheld fire extinguishers were known, and that could be troublesome and embarrassing, especially for a probie like himself. As the junior man on ladder 389, it was his job to be the can man, meaning he would carry the small fire extinguisher during a forced entry, positioned behind the irons man, who carried the tools to break through a locked door or window at a fire scene. Peter's job was to suppress any fire during the entry and help search for victims while waiting for the engine company to arrive with hoses and more men to put water on a fire. At the arc of the roadway on the bridge, speeding along toward Lower Manhattan, Peter and the rest of his unit could see clearly the fully engulfed upper floors of the north and south towers of the World Trade Center. It was a surreal sight. More than once, during the short ride from Brooklyn Heights, the truck's sirens screaming the entire way, Peter thought how ineffective the little handheld fire extinguisher would be in this situation. The other men also glanced at each other in the cab of the truck, but said little. They knew this would be the biggest fire of their lives, and the senior men also knew if things didn't go right, it might be their last. Their adrenaline was pumping. "Listen up, Proby," said Lieutenant Kevin Callahan, the senior man on the rig. "No matter what, you stay right next to me. I want you so close I can smell your awful breath. You got me? And do exactly what I tell you, when I tell you. No thinking. Just follow my orders, okay?" "Copy that, Lieutenant," Peter shouted back. A 6'2" former Marine with a shaggy crop of brown curly hair and a six-pack of abs that he worked on daily at the gym, Peter Murphy had learned how to follow orders without question, even when they seemed asinine. Peter tried not to let his thoughts run away from him as the truck and his comrades drew closer to the blazing twin towers. But this was easier said than done. This would be his first actual fire while with the FDNY, which he had joined at his mother's urging, following a year off bumming around the beaches of Southern California. He was eager to prove himself to his fellow firefighters. They were a tough and seasoned bunch. Mike the Termite, known for his carpentry skills. Patrick, a.k.a. the Irish, who never missed a Notre Dame football game, and who, yes, could drink them all under the table. Sal, the eggplant, who brought his Italian mother's recipes to the firehouse, perfecting them over the years, and who had the most experience on the job. And the lieutenant, who the other men simply called Lou, in deference to his rank. Peter Murphy knew his mother, Sarah, and father, a recently retired NYPD detective, must be watching the drama unfold on the TV in their Pelham Bay apartment in the Bronx, a few miles north. He thought about calling her, but most cell phones were down, and he didn't want to seem like a wuss in front of the other men. He tried to concentrate on the task ahead, and he recalled the lessons learned at the Fire Academy. Above all,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?